This is the news on top of the hour.
Live from our studio in Georgetown.
Kaieteur Radio, 99.1 FM.
Good evening and welcome to your evening newscast right here on Kaieteur Radio. President of ExxonMobil Guyana, Alastair Routledge, recently announced that his company has spent more than $8.5 billion on 600 local suppliers for the first quarter of 2021. As the subsidiary gears to hand this bill to Guyana, it should be noted that the government is still to audit the company's local content bills for 2019 and 2020. Which amount to $31.9 billion and $24.3 billion, respectively. The expenditure for 2019 to 2020 was also for investment in local suppliers. According to Guyana's contractor ExxonMobil and its partners, CNOC and HES Corporation for the Stabroek Block, the state has a 2-year deadline to which to audit these costs. If the time elapses, the costs have to be accepted as corrected. Meanwhile, the government has purchased 200,000 doses of the Russian-made COVID-19 vaccine Sputnik V at a price that is twice the cost approved by the World Health Organization. Minister of Health Dr. Frank Anthony admitted to the National Assembly last Monday that the vaccines are not being purchased from Russia but from a supplier in the United Arab Emirates. This came ahead of the House's approval of $619 million for the purchase of more COVID-19 vaccines. The government has recently spent approximately $13.3 billion for the purchase of vaccines, $957 million for 200 doses of the Sputnik V vaccines, and $326 million on 100,000 doses of the Chinese-made vaccines. Meanwhile, taking into consideration the concerns raised by the Guyana Bar Association in relation to the proposed amendments to the Police Act to allow for taking of DNA samples for persons in custody, Attorney General Anil Nandalal has committed to revising the document. Nandalal's decision to review the Police Act comes after the GBA released a strongly worded statement raising concerns over the lack of consultation as it relates to several pieces of legislation. The GBA highlighted specifically the amendments to the Police Act, which allows for DNA collections, noting that the proposed change will create room for quote-unquote misuse and mischief by law enforcement. The statutory meeting of GCOM, scheduled for the discussion of dismissal of CEO Keith Lowenfield and others, was postponed yesterday after two of the APNO AFC appointed commissioners Vincent Alexander and Charles Corbin failed to show. The meeting has now been rescheduled to next Tuesday. Earlier, PPP appointed commissioners tabled 3 separate motions for the immediate dismissal of Lowenfield, his deputy CEO Roxanne Myers, and the Region 4 returning officer Clement Mingo. Meanwhile, a taxi driver who allegedly threatened to shoot a cop on Saturday was sent to Kaieteur News to publicly tell the officer he is sorry. The taxi driver, Jermaine Carroll, related that if he does not return to the Brickdam police station with the evidence in this newspaper, that he'll be placed before the court and charged with threatening language. As a result, Jermaine said he will adhere to the officer's request to publicly apologize via Kaieteur News because he does not want to be charged. The cop who Jermaine is apologizing to was identified as Constable Jeremiah Lynch, badge number 25477, who's attached to the Brickdam Police Station Traffic Department. And with that, we've come to the end of your evening newscast right here on Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM. Let me remind you that you can get the full details of these stories and much more by picking up a copy of the Kaieteur News at a newsstand near you, or head across to our website at kaieteurnewsonline.com. I'm Joshua Van Sleckman. Thank you for joining us, reminding you that coming up at 19 hours 20 this evening, it's time for your Wednesday edition of The Glenn Lal Show. Have a great evening.
Want value for your advertising dollar? Then place your ads on Kaieteur Radio's newscasts. Streamed live on 6 different mediums, reaching hundreds of thousands. Advertise today and watch your dollar grow. call us on 225-8465 or 226-8210 today.
Government receiving over 5